Hello everyone, this is LimAK here, and I'm playing a little bit of Thomas Was Alone. This is a puzzle platformer developed by Mike Bithell, whose name you just saw drop across the screen, and this is a puzzle platformer that has a, actually tells a pretty cool narrative. Now, I'm currently in Origin, but I will go to the last chapter of this to just show you roughly what the game is. So usually started out the game.
Interesting. A floating target. This would require coordination, balance, and timing.
So I should probably say, this is voiced
John
by...
was sure the dots would be lost, but he was happy to guide them to triumph.
As I was saying, this is voiced by Danny Wallace, who does all the narration, and he's done a wonderfully, kind of stellar job with it. So, unfortunately, that means that I'm going to try to not interrupt it when it happens, so it'll probably mean I will stop talking every now and then to let the narration play. And the narration really adds to what are essentially, squares and rectangles. And I'm using Q and E to swap between the characters. This cube here is Chris, and he's grumpy. You've got Thomas, who at the beginning of the game was very, very lonely, hence the name. And let's not block my passageway. And let's just move on. So
Maybe that's what the dots were for. They were there to extend John's reach, to make his performance even more impressive. John liked the thought. He decided to keep them.
And that's John, the tall yellow guy. So let's just quickly do this. So water is bad for you guys. So if I jump in it like this, you die and you get reset. And there are like respawn checkpoints every now and then in some levels. Not in this one because this one's quite short. So let's just concentrate. And I need to get each one of these guys into their respective spot. And that ends the level. And I get these interludes between each chapters. And all of these guys are basically sentient AIs of some, well, I say sentient, but, they're AIs.
So, this was how Claire would die. She knew it would happen eventually. She was rubbish at jumping, and she moved slowly. She felt a little like her continued existence was breaking some kind of natural order. The crumbling pillar was a dramatic death, she supposed. Wait, what? Claire couldn't shake the feeling that she was not, in fact, dead. It was at that moment that Claire realized she had superpowers.
Okay, so Claire can float. Presumably that will be helpful in the coming moments.
She'd need a cape. There was no getting around that. You couldn't be a superhero without a cape. Claire didn't want confusion. If you saw a cape, that made matters clear. You knew what you were dealing with. Claire was all about communication. And, floating in water, which was her superpower.
So I could have made life difficult for myself and try and hop all the way there, but I felt like taking the easy route, and quite frankly the sensible route, of using Claire to carry.
All right. Fear not, my skinny friends, for I am Claire, and I will save you. Claire needed to come up with a superhero name as soon as possible. Claire was rubbish.
Oops. I was supposed to start to Claire there instead of killing all of them, but oh well. Let's get Claire back to the other side. So I really like this game. This, you know, there's definitely a lot of charm and personality to what are essentially cubes, which is kind of
Claire
weird.
arrived just in time, which was, of course, the perfect moment for superheroes to arrive.
So, presumably, I just need to keep Thomas alive. I actually wonder what happens if he dies. Why do you respawn? Oh, you don't respawn. You restart the level. That was actually probably quite cruel.
Just in time, which was, of course, the perfect moment for superheroes to arrive.
If there's one knock I have against it so far is that sometimes the text scroll goes off the side of the screen, which is a little bit weird because it tries to sort of adjust the size of the text so that all
Water
fits.
began to rise. Claire vowed to save this little rectangle in as many restarts as it took.
So that cube over there is a collectible.
Thomas would
Oh,
be a
wow.
good sidekick.
Wait, if I just used Thomas to get that earlier,
Or the Lone Avenger
that would have
type.
been.
If you like that. The sole hero in a world of rectangles and conveniently placed pools of toxic water.
So there was a collectible over there, that sort of like spinning square that I missed. But that will have to be dealt with another day. Okay, I wonder, can I just put you on top of Claire and then just do... Nope.
The others told Claire that staircases were a bit of a fixture here. Claire wondered why the world made it so difficult.
This also sometimes gets rather repetitive because, you know, you've already done it once. You don't have to do it 4 times. So, you know, get the point. I don't know, it's... Still seems like a pretty neat game so far. And I do really love the narration. It's another game with fantastic storytelling, just because you've got a wonderful narrator and an amazing voice doing it. So, Chris, you stay there, and I need to take John across this. All levels have so far been relatively short. I'm not sure how long they get.
Probably needed a nemesis. A villain who would show their true colours at the worst possible moment, hurting all she held dear. Chris was the most obvious choice. He seemed stroppy enough, and his jump was so pathetic that it conveniently avoided Claire's insecurities. Yes, Chris. Diabolical Chris. The fiendish Christopher.
Oops, sorry, Chris. Clearly that made way more sense than what I was trying to do. And all I need to do is ferry everyone across. Nope, Chris Chris is a bit of a pain because he is so short and his jump is really so piddly. Nope.
Wait. Where had Chris gone? Was he off somewhere? Plotting Claire's downfall? If Claire was honest, and she had to be because she was a superhero, this was a troubling turn of events.
So you can sort of see there that
There were reasonably sized bodies of water to cross.
the text sort of try and resize it to itself so that it all stays on screen. And I sort of feel that it would be better. Some part of me thinks it would be better if it just stayed off screen and let the camera sort of move towards it. But I don't know. It's a little disorienting sometimes when it keeps resizing. It just sort of draws the eye more than it should, but just sort of a weird tiny nitpick of mine, which will probably be utterly insignificant to most sane people. Okay, so there's nothing really down here. All I need to do is just get everyone to the end.
Platforms over water, eh? Claire's newly heightened senses told her that there were multiple paths across with various possible configurations of the little posse.
So I think I'm going to call this one here. That's a pretty good show of what Thomas Was Alone is all about. And, you know, lovely, lovely narration, and weirdly, there's quite a lot of character to these quadrilaterals. And I'm sure there are going to be more that will turn up later in the game. So, you know, interested to see where it goes from here, but hey, this will be it for this video. Alright, this has been K. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.